Okay then, it's John Naylor from Deja.Vu Travel Magazine, and I'm on board a BYD Seagull. This is a 2023 model. It's the Freedom Edition, which is the base model, I believe, and I'm going to take you for a little drive. We're in a little town called Kunshan, which is wedged between Shanghai and on the outskirts and included in Suzhou city. Now I'm going to navigate towards Suzhou so we can get a little bit of road driving, a little bit highway driving. Now, maybe you can already hear there's a droplet sound. Now this is a fun one. This is actually the reminder that you haven't got your seatbelt on. I don't know whether you can hear it, but it's like a little droplet. It's now gotten a bit more rapid. And at this traffic light, I'll put on my seatbelt, won't I? Now set up on that navigation here, and if you already know the BYD Seagull, you know that the navigation system on board these units is rudimentary, but it works rather nicely, but a little bit slow. So when you do key presses and that sort of thing, you give it a second for it to actually happen before you see it respond on the screen. And like I've just been playing with the AC controls here to try and keep my phone cool actually. And so, you know, I've hit the AC button here, and we see it pops up after a second, and then I've got to hit the button and give it a chance to respond before you do the next keystroke. Otherwise you end up double tapping things here. So by the by, if you're watching this video, is this worth your while? Look, you might be sitting back relaxing of an afternoon and watching something on your big screen, your television, your Android TV or something like that, and enjoying a bit of you know, relaxing video, and just looking to sort of entertain your afternoon. So this is the sort of person that's probably watching this video, or maybe just sitting back and watching it on your computer or your phone as well. But it is orientated to something that you're sort of just going to immerse yourself in and just sort of sit back and relax. This is going to go on 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes. I'll probably go as long as this phone doesn't go flat or overheat or something like that. Now, so let's talk a bit more about this vehicle, the BYD Seagull, and what I've found so far. I've hired this vehicle. It's incidentally, by the way, it's cost me about 500 RMB for 2 days, and so that's 250 RMB per day. That includes a delivery fee to the hotel and pickup of around about 100 RMB, and then about 88 RMB per day for the actual car rental. It's a pretty simple process. You have to pay a fairly hefty deposit because you're a foreigner, but I've got my foreign license. Actually, I won't bother pulling it out. And so they want to see that. I've got my rudimentary Chinese skills have helped me communicate with them as they've handed over the vehicle in conjunction with help from my Chinese girlfriend. They've also obviously want to cite and take photos of my passport. There's a sign off, an agreement to the terms and conditions, and I've got travel insurance with a low excess on it. Should I have run into any difficulties or have an accident or run into trouble with the vehicle and with the rental company. Hopefully not. Okay, so car's in my hands, had it for a day. Let's talk about the features of this vehicle. It is the most basic model, so that comes in at around about 80,000 RMB, I think it is, or the equivalent of 15,000 Australian dollars. So it's a really cheap car, so we don't expect a lot from it. The BYD Seagull, of course, is a vehicle that's been super popular here in China, and I think it was last month, in the month of April 2025, they sold something like 33,000 of them. So that's a lot of cars. You know, I think that's more than the Australian car market does in a month, if not two. So a lot of these Seagulls on the road here, and a super popular vehicle. And at 15,000 Australian dollars, it'd be incredibly popular. Like everyone would just go out and buy one with pocket cash in Australia. But let's keep in mind that in Australia, this vehicle is going to have $10,000 Australian added to the price if it lands there in terms of margin and shipping and the likes of that. So it's going to be more like $25,000. Now I'm in traffic here, or light traffic here in Kunshan, so I'm keeping an awareness of everything. Feature-wise for this vehicle, I was getting around to talking about that. This vehicle has virtually no sensors on it, if any at all. There's no camera up here, as you can see, no LiDAR unit. I don't think there's even any proximity sensors for for when you're reversing or in and around other cars. There's no lane keep, there's no lane centering. The cruise control in this base model is just engage and set the speed. So we've got to be super duper vigilant in terms of what's going on in front of us. And so you'll see me driving quite like the Nanny here. Now, in terms of this vehicle feature-wise, we do have an instrument binnacle, as you can probably see here in front of us. So it's good information here. We've got the speed, we've got the actual amount of power that we're consuming at any given time. We've got some 85.5 hours here. I think that's how much actual energy is in the battery, or how much driving's been done on this vehicle since the last reset. I've also got, if I press the button on this stalk here, it's also given me my odometer reading. So I press that and I go around. I see an interesting piece of information for you, is that this vehicle's got 69,037 kilometers on it. We've done approximately 100 in it in the past day. I believe that this car is a 2023 model, so it's in excess of 2 years old, and it's worked pretty hard as a rental car. Now, looking at the interior here, it's got this musk paneling and musk finish on the panels here. I must say, I'm not overly impressed with that. And it looks like it has actually weathered a little bit, but otherwise the styling is not too bad. Other people have been quite critical of it, but at the price, you really can't question it. This car is not overly clean. I've given the inside of the windscreen and the outside a little bit of a clean. If you do rent a car here, it's a bit of hit and miss in terms of whether they do come to you clean. I've also experienced that it's about 30 to 50 RMB should you want to get your car cleaned. So that's like less than $10 or $10 odd in Australian cash to actually get your car spotlessly clean, inside and out. They'll pull all the carpets out, they'll vacuum it, they'll wash it inside and out, they'll clean the glass inside and out, and it'll be swarmed upon by probably a family unit who are operating a garage or a some sort of car service thing, and they've got a car wash bay and happy to clean cars at that price, and they punch it out in no time at all. What else have we got feature-wise here? Of course, the rotating screen. We can hit this button here on the steering wheel to rotate the screen around, and that gives us another look. I've actually come to appreciate that, particularly when you're driving along straight avenues here in China, that's actually quite good to actually use it in the portrait mode. What else we got going on here? You can see we're not using it right now. Obviously, the phone's doing the recording, but we have actually got a wireless phone charger here. I tested it versus using a USB cable onto my phone and found that the USB cable charging to my phone was slightly faster than using the wireless charging unit. There's also a 12-watt cigarette lighter plug down here that has got a USB Type A, Types 2 charge sockets in it, and neither of those are going any faster. So I found the fastest way to charge a phone in this car is by using the supplied USB socket. And I'm already getting a bit dry, so I might just have a little sip of water if you don't mind. So this district of Kunshan here, it's actually really quite a modern part of the Shanghai, Suzhou region. So we see that wide streets and easy traffic situations abound. So I'm really happy with the way that's gone. Over at Suzhou last night, what a wonderful, majestic, sophisticated in a very nice way is what I'd have to say about Suzhou. And maybe I'll insert a couple of overlaid photos or a bit of video. There's an amazing Eastern Arc building there that's two pieces that goes up and connects in at the top with a LED, light display on it in the early part of the evening that just leaves you astounded. Really majestic and, as I said, splendid. Splendid maybe is the better word for Suzhou. We've got this interesting merge thing going on here. Rafferty's rules, of course, people can turn, you can turn a traffic light turning right. You can do that at any time that it's safe, unless there's an actual specific arrow saying you cannot. So you saw there was sort of a bit of chaos as we crossed the lanes there, and people just sort of found a lane on the other side with the guy trying to also come around the corner at us as well. Oh, unfortunate. And I have got a photo. saw an accident last night, or the outcome of that, a girl lying, or woman lying on the ground looking quite unwell, as she had been hit by a Honda, and someone was coming around the corner, someone was just driving across, because these guys just do make it up. Look, this Tesla is just going to nuzzle in, and that's the way it works here. So she was obviously in a bad way. Looks like maybe at least a broken leg there. My apologies, I've been struggling with some flu symptoms since flying over 10 days ago. So I'll just try and keep hydrated here as we go for a bit of a talk. Now we're heading towards a bit of a highway situation here, maybe even a tollway. Oops, I'm in the wrong lane here, damn it. Okay, look, instead of creating a fuss here, we're just cruising, right? So let's go around here. Now we've got someone in a scooter there. We are permitted to just merge into the traffic here. There we go, let's do that. And I'm just going to look for a U-turn opportunity here. You see the navigation's doing a job, got an Audi behind me, he's let me in, that's nice. U-turns and traffic lights are permitted here, by the way, unlike Australia, where it's heavily forbidden. And a real no-no, it's quite common here. They demonstrated the tight turning circle of the BYD Seagull. I think it's barely 3 meters long, this vehicle, so turning in traffic or in tight streets is a joy in this vehicle. It is a city vehicle. The range, I think, tops out, even in the max battery size, tops out at about 400 kilometers. Just being vigilant in every way when you're actually driving in China. Out in the Yunnan province last year, there's in a beautiful Xiaomi SU7. I've got a video about that one. And there's just some guy just stopped in his three-wheel tricycle thing with a carriage stack on the back, and he just turned and cut across in front of me, had to hit the brakes in an emergency. The vehicle didn't have any chance of seeing that. Oh, here we go, this is exciting. A little bit of entertainment for you here. I'm gonna pick up and use, oops, I've opened the back window here. Actually, that's something you tend to do in this vehicle. You tend to go for the automatic without sort of tactile feeling or looking which window you're winding down, and I've ended up winding down the back window there. But here we go. Oh, mate, here in this manual channel. Ni hao. So going on to freeway conditions here, and they give you one of these plastic cards here in the manual channel if you don't have the automatic tag system. So the other end will give that up, and that'll identify where we've come from. And there'll be a fee which I'll pay with my Alipay, which is going to be interesting because I won't be able to record when I'm doing that, but I'll do everything but. And we'll stick it down here. All right, let's do a bit of freeway driving. So you get a bit of a feel for this vehicle. Here's an on-off button for the vehicle. Now also, I'll show maybe around about now, I'll just show you a couple of screen grabs from the app. We haven't been supplied an NFC key or any other sort of physical key for this vehicle. The rental guy gave us access to this car via the BYD app. And from in that app, we can unlock and lock the vehicle. We can always see where it is, the status of the lock, how much range left in the battery, etc. I think you can pre-start the car and cool it down and stuff like that. Don't know why I'm getting honked. Let's get across one lane here. So you can see a nice big wide expressway here on this tollway. If we went all the way to Suzhou as we did yesterday, it's going to cost 6 RMB, so just over $1 Australian. Let's give this the car's in sport mode, by the way. I'm hitting the accelerator and we see that, yeah, it's accelerating, but it is a single motor and not that large in terms of motor engine capacity. You can look up those stats, but look, let's just categorize it as relatively slow. I can also change the mode here down to, with this roller button here, down to eco. And when I hit the accelerate here, it kind of goes like, oh, maybe. And well, it's not. It's kind of trying to go faster, but it's not. It's like going like 1 kilometre faster every sort of 5 seconds. So if you're in an overtaking situation on the expressway or even in traffic, you probably want to be in sport mode so the engine gives all it can. Here we are in normal. Okay, it's a bit faster to accelerate here. Incidentally, we're doing 118 kilometers an hour here. The limit's going to be 120. You see people driving with a bit of ignorance towards the speed limits, and they might be traveling at 130 or out west I've seen 130, 130 plus as people enjoy the open road in their Audis and BMWs, akin to what you'd see in Germany. Now, amongst these roller buttons here, let's just go through those where we're just cruising on the freeway here. So the actual park button is, or putting this vehicle in park, is that you push this button in the end here. This is drive is roll down, reverse is roll up, neutral, I'm not even sure, it's just where it's sitting. You saw the mode button there in action and I'll kick it back into sport mode. I think you just roll it down, it goes to the next one, and so it toggles through all three. We've got obviously a non-skid option there. We've got an auto brake turned on, so when we do come to a stop, this vehicle will just stop. It won't creep, it'll stop by actually rolling this one on or off, yeah? Hazard lights, AC on or off, fan on or off. So actually you roll that one, it stops the fan altogether, as opposed to just having it run forward on here. You've got the rear demister there. Is that rear or front window? We've also got a nice rolly button there, and also it looks like a volume button there for a hi-fi. You did see as I rolled that button here, it did option what's going on there. Once you've actually got this volume control up here, you can see that we can adjust the volumes there. I'm not going to bother. We've also got a roller wheel here for volume on the steering wheel as well. Microphone button kicks in the AI. I don't know what it's saying. Oh, it's just turned off. It's not even bother. A bit of traffic here, a bit of a closed lane. We'll just pay a bit more attention while we're doing this. Okay, a bit of a heads up from the alarm system here. Lots of cameras watching where you're going. Lots of speed sensing. I've had 2 fines for doing the wrong thing in Ruli, down near the Myanmar border, in the Xiaomi SU7. It's powder blue. It's the car of the decade for the Chinese. So I think it drew the attention of people watching on camera to actually give me a fine for maybe even spotted I was a foreigner, I don't know. But anyway, haven't otherwise run into any trouble with all these cameras recording your movements, even though I've been over limits and done the wrong thing from time to time. The Chinese seem to do that anyway. Cruise control, let's do that while we're here. Let's turn on the cruise control by pressing the button here. The set button, it's in Chinese, but I know it's there, so I've set the speed. As I said before, it's not adaptive cruise, it's just a static cruise. So I get to increase my speed by just toggling up. Car gets around to it, accelerating. If there is something in front of you, you've got to hit the brake. This is a traditional static set cruise limit. I think this, what's this one here? No, it's not doing anything. We can also just turn that off, disengage. Here's this left-hand button here as well. There's a bonnet release under here, at the under the left here, probably under right on the, when we do see the steering wheels on the other sides of these vehicles. They've been announced as a global car, so we're dying to see this vehicle in foreign markets. And interestingly, you've got to, this bonnet release, you've got to hit it twice. Got to hit it twice as well to actually get it to engage. I was around as a traditional car owner, I was around underneath the bonnet trying to find the little catch to actually release the bonnet so I could actually put some water in this thing. It was, the windscreen obviously was in a bit of a state. Maybe there's a wrap up here. It's a single wiper on this vehicle as well, by the way. What other things we've got to show? Traditional air vent system, a couple of cup holders here, cubby hole underneath. Mirror controls, traditional, what you'd expect in any other car anywhere else in the world in terms of electric mirror controls. By the way, the base model, the mirrors are manual. You have to fold them in yourself if there's a concern about being hit by something while parked. Window controls as we accept. We've also got to double hit the open latch here or unlock the doors before we get out of the vehicle at any given time. Windscreen controls on this side as well. Bit of intermittent, bit of window wash if we pull on it. Overhead here, by the way, I don't know whether you can see that. Looks like maybe you can. If we open up the vanity mirror, it does turn on the light automatically. And that's a feature on both sides. So I can pull this down, open this up, and you see a little vanity light comes on. That's quite cute. This is an aftermarket thing, by the way. They've put a little phone holder here that's been put in by the vehicle's owner. Anyway, well, we're just sort of cruising along here. What I'll actually do is I want to go all the way to Suzhou because that's probably going to just bore you to tears. So what I will do is I'll look for a means to get off here whenever it presents itself. Hopefully I don't end up in Suzhou. That's not the idea of this outing. I don't want to keep you that long. Oh, by the way, too, if this is something a little bit different from in terms of content of just cruising along and talking to you in this virtual test drive in the vehicle. But what I'd love to know is whether this is worthwhile. And so a like, a subscribe, a friendly comment or a question is welcome. And I'd be only too happy to hear from you. Now we've got to do a turn off to go towards Suzhou here. Oopsie daisy. Actually, you know what? Oh, there's a car blocking my exit here. Can't see it happen. Okay, look, we're going to ignore what's going on here. We're just going to keep on this freeway and just see where we turn off, see where we can get off and turn around and go back the other way. Because we're just cruising, as I said. Oh, so yeah, if you do like this content, a like, a subscribe, a friendly comment to be warm. As I said, this is experimental content, so I've got no idea whether people want to watch a virtual test drive of a BYD Seagull. And not one that's cruisy as this. Let's do another road to overtake just for fun. Got some cars coming up. There you go, so you see performance there. Or not much of. Actually, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's see if we can get out of here. Get out of this navigation. No, it's not happening. What I was going to do... if you can see a way for me to exit this navigation, let's do it. Okay, we're sort of finding some other route to get to the same destination, as you can see there in the display. Interesting. Doesn't seem like it wants to let me exit the navigation while I'm driving. That's oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's try for that. Yeah, it looks like that's gonna take me back. Okay, so there you go. This will get us off at a toll booth in 3 kilometers. And I'll wrap up this video at that time. Here's one of my favorite cars going past. It's tried tailing for a while. There's a Zeekr 001 in front of me. Wonderful, muscular looking car. Lovely Euro styling. Very popular. A little bit dated here in China. It's been around for 2, 3, 4 years. You can probably see the green number plate that's on this vehicle in front. That's the lovely green plates that they use to denote electric vehicles in China. and you're in a place like Shanghai, and I haven't made a video to show it or display it just yet, but in Shanghai you can just count off any section of cars or a section of lights or any sort of batch of cars, and you'll see that there's now like 2/3 of the vehicles on the road are EVs. And the blue number plates are the traditional color plates to show petrol or ICE, internal combustion vehicles. Becoming a really rare thing in Shanghai and other major cities. And of course, most of the buses, if not all the buses, are electric. Here we go, we're gonna get off, let's get off. And of course, the menace of any sort of city situation is all the electric scooters around, just millions of them, absolutely millions of them. Okay, so we're getting off here, doing a U-turn. All right, that's pretty much it for this virtual test drive. If there's more information you'd love to know about this vehicle, as says, please put a comment on the video. It'll certainly be nice. Look, if you're watching, this is the likes of what I'd like. Uncle Neville, my Uncle Neville, Auntie Annie, if you're watching, this is something I sort of thought about you guys might be watching from your television, big Android television there in your lounge room at home in Mackay, Queensland. So a big shout out if you've watched this video. Maybe try and make a comment, Uncle Nev. I'd love to see you make a comment. That'd be hilarious. Now, and this is it. I've got to shut down because I've got to use my Alipay off the phone here in a sec. I am using the most right-hand lane here is the one that's like other people, as I don't have an actual electronic tag system. And I've got to present this one. They'll give me a fee and I'll pay it. Anyway, that's been John Naylor from not Channel Woods. I know that's back in the day. John Naylor from Deja.Vu Magazine. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video, eh? Enjoy.